we're taking on a long overdue project, one that hopefully goes pretty smooth. And well, I shouldn't even have said that, but hopefully we're done with this today. I'm just going to leave it at that. So you guys know, a few months back, and by a few months I mean about 6 months ago, pulled the transmission out of the Crown Rick. Was supposed to trade it for a 4L80. That didn't happen, so figured while it was out, we'd send the trans out, get it freshened up, or at least looked at, see if it needed anything. Took it down to Cameron at A&H Transmission in Clarksville, Tennessee. He went through it. Overall, looked pretty good. A couple updates he made to it. We might put a little video together for that. He actually documented everything he found with the transmission when he took it apart, so that was very cool and very nice of him. I appreciate that for sure. And he was very thorough with this thing. Gave me a very detailed report on what he did, why he did it. Made sure it was going to, hold up to the power level we're at, and maybe some more going forward. So big thanks to Cameron. If you guys have any transmission needs, get a hold of him. I'm not sure what his availability is, but quality work comes out of that place for sure. So anyways, we've also got a refreshed Dynamic Motorsports converter going in this thing. That's what we were running before, but sent that out. Just had it checked out, cleaned up. Got a good bill of health for that thing. That's ready to go in. So we got to get the Crown Rick up in the air. I need to take the transmission cooler off of this thing. I'm going to run it through the parts washer, just clean all the, any residual stuff that might be in there, and get that installed back in the car and put our transmission back in. So we are going to have to swap the yoke on the drive shaft. So one of the things Cameron did was he machined down the output shaft on this Turbo 400. I think from the factory, this one had like an oil seal type thing on there that made us use a short yoke on this thing. So with the output shaft machined down, we can run a longer yoke that has all the splines in there, give us a little bit more engagement. Ideally, theoretically, it'll be a little bit stronger. So we're going to swap that out on the drive shaft and then just get this thing ready to go. So, I mean, summer is basically already halfway over with here in Michigan. Not super thrilled about that, so I want to be able to enjoy this car for the next couple months until it gets super cold. So, love driving this thing. Got to get it back on the road. Got some other stuff I want to do to it too, but can't have a dead horse just laying around needing to be pushed everywhere. So, let's get working on this thing. Sucker's clean. All right, got my transmission cooler washed out. Ran some mineral spirits through that. Blew it out with air. Ran some transmission fluid through it. Got it draining now to just get everything all, unyucked and good to go in there. We've got torque converter over here. If it's green, it's mean. Freaking Dynamic Motorsports piece right there. Put some trans fluid in that. That's ready to get set on the trans. It took me a while to find, but, you have a bunch of different opinions from people who have trans brake turbo 400s, and it seems like the consensus is the best fluid is this Transcend 668. So this is what you 5 and 6 speed Allison guys should be using in your transmissions. That's good stuff right there. So that's what we're going to be filling the Crown Rick up with when we get everything back together. But I got to drop this cross member down, get that out of the way so we can lift the trans up, and then we'll be in good shape. So excited to get this thing going. Got to get that converter on there. If we didn't put the converter on there, that'd be like the ultimate, for getting your brake line fittings and then flaring the line. That'd be super bad. So I'm just going to set that on there, and then we'll get heading over to yonder. All right, quick update on the old Crown Rick. Trans is up. Bell housing bolts tightened up. Dipstick tube tightened up. That was pretty much the hardest part. Shifter is on. I got to get a small cotter pin for that. I'll probably get some heat shrink, tie up my transmission fluid temperature sensor wires after that's done. I got to run a ground from the trans brake. Probably going to run that all the way to the battery, honestly. So before, the trans brake solenoid was grounded internally. And if you guys remember, we kind of had some intermittent trans brake issues. So Cameron went ahead and said we're just going to set this up for an external ground. So that's cool. Got our trans mount all tightened up. I've got to source some washers to set the get the set back right for the torque converter. So we'll get that done, and yeah, we're moving along pretty good on this thing. So I'm happy with how things are going. I don't want to jinx it. Got to get my exhaust tied back up and connected right there, and got to put the crossover pipe on. We'll wait till everything else is done for that. That'll get in the way of our tightening of the torque converter and stuff. So we'll save that till the end, but we're doing pretty good here. So, again, happy with how things are going. All right, the crown rack's looking pretty good. So I got my trans brake wire sent up here to the battery. I've got some trans fluid in it. I think enough, but we'll fine-tune that once we get it running. Treated the crown rack to a new battery, so it's been running the same battery that came with the car when I purchased this thing almost 3 years ago. So figured it was a good time. Had the battery out for the winter. Said, we'll just go ahead and upgrade it. So that's there. I forgot. I put that new Holley Terminator X Max in this because we were going to be doing that 4L80, so I got to put a tune on this and then do a TPS auto set, and then we'll be ready to fire this thing up. So I'm going to go grab my computer, throw the tune on there, and hopefully this thing will be driving out. I'm going to change the oil in it too. I got a freaking assortment of oil here. I'm going to mix up a little concoction for it and throw it in it. It seems to like that. All right, so I went to flash the tune in this thing. Turns out the new ECU we put in had a different firmware in it than the software that we've been using is capable with. So it's on the V3 software now. So I had to update the ECU, download a new program to my computer, and I have to update the dash as well. Unfortunately, the dash isn't updating for some reason. So I'm just going to watch the gauges and stuff on the computer and start this thing up. So I'll take care of the dash later, but I need to get this thing going. So time to fire this thing up. Okay, see if we can connect here. We'll at least get some criticals. See if she goes. Okay, something's wrong with my starter, I guess. All right, we're going to try this one more time. It started to go. One more time. Well, through various tests, I found that we have a little bit of a fracture here at the main battery cable that's going to the starter. So I got to get that fixed, and then hopefully this thing will run then. All right, I think I got this figured out. So I found this nice part at my local Bay City AutoZone. This is a Dorman part, so it's a new top post terminal. I don't know what vehicle it's for, but it's got like 3 different legs on it. So 1, 2, and then 3. So it works super smooth. If you guys want to use that on one of your projects, here is the part number. Very happy with that. Shout out Bay City AutoZone. I'm hoping this is what we need. So let's get this thing fired up. Get the laptop going, I guess, because I still didn't get the firmware taken care of for the dash, but well, we got a new dash solution coming here pretty soon, so okie doke. Let's see here, USB link. Okay. She's going. She don't sound quite right. Might be down a hole, I don't know. Motor ain't ran in a while. She's a little noisy. Probably just needs to get some oil flowing up to her. I'm gonna check the trans fluid here quick. Trans fluid checked out pretty good. The lifters might have lost their prime, so they're probably getting pumped up right now. The ticking's gotten a little bit better on the valve train, but she is still a little bit noisy. I'm gonna take this up in the air and run her through the gears, I suppose. No visible leaks. That's condensation. It feels so good to have this thing running again, man. This is a freaking great car. So this is reverse pattern, so where third would be is actually first, so that's cool. We got 3 gears. Always make sure your tires are stopped before you put this thing in park. Otherwise you'll have a bad day. So reverse, let's see if we can feel the trans brake. Oh yeah, definitely can feel the trans brake. It feels a lot stronger than before. Alright guys, I'm super happy with this thing. So it's never started this good. I have a feeling that that battery cable has been degrading for quite some time. So with the new battery and the actual good wiring, this thing starts so good. I'm going to shut it down, change the oil in this thing, and then go for a little cruise. Alright, it's the next day, back in the Crown Rick. Got my dash working, ended up the USB drive I was using, bunk. So got a different USB drive, got the files put on that, plugged it in, firmware update started immediately. The only thing that's not working is my ethanol content percentage that's shown on the dash, showing low error. So I don't know if something needs to be reconfigured with that. That's like a custom thing that I had set up on the Holly dash. So I can figure that out later. I've got speed and stuff like that. That's what's crucial at the moment. So we're going to get this thing outside and go for a little drive. Oh man, the sweet sound of a little 4.8 with a big turbo under the hood. Let's take this thing out, get some fresh fuel in her, and maybe make sure this transmission is going to transmission how it should. Man, I don't want to inflate the Crown Rick's ego too much, but it's just a good car. I'm super happy with this thing. Obviously, we've had a few problems with it here and there, mainly transmission stuff, but I think we've got that hopefully taken care of. The engine seems pretty stout, but as with everything, I try and have like a plan in the back of my mind in the event that something does happen. So, but I'm just enjoying this car, man. Had it together a little over 2 years now, and it's a cool piece. Might not be for everybody, the whole shitbox thing, but it's just I don't know, really cool to me to be able to you know, to have something you don't really have to care about on the outside, but on the inside just make some jam. So let's tip into her a little bit. Differential for the rear fore that's going to eliminate our one tire fire problem that we had, so that's should be quick, should leave pretty good hopefully. Alright, let's hit it one more time. We're going about 60, no nitrous or anything. I don't have that turned on. Beautiful day out. Sun's shining. There's clouds in the sky, but they're looking pretty cool. Pretty cool. Not pretty cool. And just a great day to have a Crown Rick. I guess we should probably make sure the trans brake works in this thing. It obviously does. We were able to get into reverse, but you guys know what I mean. Two-step check. That's what I mean. Well, that's it for the Crown Rick today. Again, super happy to have this thing back on the road, and there's a ton of other cool stuff that I'm going to be doing to this thing soon. Like I said, we're putting that new differential in the rear. I got a 5-bar map sensor going in this thing so we can turn the boost up even more. New Holly dash going in. Tons of cool stuff. This thing earned it. This is a great car. So I appreciate your guys' support in this matter. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back here in a couple days with some more Crown Rick stuff, more who knows what kind of stuff, but appreciate your guys' support in this matter. We'll see you in a couple days.